Hello. Hello, hello. Sir David DeBart, I'm coming to you from Liberty Jail down here in Missouri, I think is where it is. And it's small. It's a small thing, and you can just barely see, you know, into the through the bars where Joseph Smith sat for many days, many months. Not that I don't think he deserved why he was sitting there. His choice. I've been to the visitor center that the Mormons have the jail cut in half, and you can sit on the little benches and look at the bucket that they used to go poo-poo in or whatever. Anyway, I just had a very interesting comment come in, and I've never responded mostly to comments. I don't care what people think or say. Doesn't affect me at all. But let me make my position really, really clear of my show, because, you know, I'm coming up on 1,100 videos and 600,000. I'm almost headed to 1 million hits. So somebody is listening. Somebody is questioning. I'm not here to take anybody out of the Mormon Church. Oh, my God. If you like that organization and it floats your boat and you're happy, 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 good grief. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Stay right there. Stay right there. I'm telling you what my experience has been, and I'm telling you how I feel and how I think. I'm not representing anyone. I have absolutely zero sponsors. I've made absolutely zero money on 1,100 videos. I don't ask for money. I do just the opposite. Don't you ever send me any money, or I'll send it right back to you. I'm doing this for my own therapy, for my own selfish purposes. I never thought anybody would listen to any of them. I thought I was just going to put these things on tape and feel like I did my job in life, and my ass is out of here. And suddenly I started seeing the hits going up and up, and I go, is that my mom down in Orem, Utah, is that my son making the hits? And then I realized it wasn't. My family's always said I'm an ass. Maybe I am. So what? I'm not here to get anybody out of the Mormon Church. I'm getting here to tell the truth. I have nearly 2 master's degrees. I've got a full master's degree at Northeastern State University, and 99% of a master's degree at Springfield College in Springfield, Massachusetts. So I've gone to school. My undergraduate is at BYU. God, you know BYU? I don't know. They require maybe 40, 32 credits in religion. It's not like I don't know what the Mormon Church is. I have a degree from BYU. I was a 4-year seminary student. No, I wasn't a missionary. I don't like to sleep with boys. Sorry, I didn't want. I like the girls. I like what's between the girls' legs. I was interested in basically dating girls. Still am. Sorry. Sorry. Now let me be more specific, because I'm going to leave this comment. I could delete this comment right now and pretend it never happened. Well, that ain't me. This is the lying arm. This one here is the truth arm. So I'm just swimming my way through the end of my life here. I'm going to leave this comment on, and I'm going to put it as a link underneath this video. I think it's well thought out. I think it is one of the most reasonable Mormons I've ever seen. This doesn't seem like a hateful, stupid, vengeful, evil, idiotic human being. Take your pick, you know. I think he is seeking the truth in life. I think he's a little bit of trying to get me to, you know, rehabilitate and come back in his cult. Well, I'm not going to do that. I have no interest, never will have an interest. This organization, the Mormon Church, has ruined my life. And why I can't leave it alone is because they don't deserve to be left alone. Let me be more specific on his comments. I read it all once. I didn't, and I reviewed it a little bit. So if I'm off, it's because I'm off. I'm a mentally ill person, and I always have been. Now, you take a look at my videos, which is impossible. Nobody's going to watch. I forget my statistics. It said, I forget how many millions of minutes have been watched. I have other videos of my early life, and I'm just going to bring up in relation to this today. When I was 12 years old, I used to have out-of-body experiences, and I had them all the way from 12 to 19 years old. I had them at BYU. And I'm not going to go into the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm just going to tell you the truth. You figure out the good, the bad, the ugly. That's what I'm doing. When I have those experiences, I have to look back in life and say, how does that fit in? I'm an atheist, and yet I've had out-of-body experiences, so I know that there's another dimension or another energy body, Mormons would call it a spirit, that I've seen with my own eyes. I've been out and I look back and I can see my physical body. How the hell do you explain that? It's not like one time. I went from 12 years old until I was 19. Never happened before, never happened since. How? I don't know. There have been times when I've had dreams and called home and said to my wife, would you go in and check the baby? I just woke up and I just feel something's wrong. And she goes in, and sure enough, the baby's tangled in blankets or other kinds of things, that her life or his life was in danger. How do you explain those things as an atheist? I certainly have had experiences that Mormons would call spiritual experiences. You know, I've got to be fair here. I've got to be honest. I had a dream once that David O. McKay was the president of the church at which he was. And he called me to Salt Lake, and a long story short, he wanted me to become the next prophet of the Mormon church. In your dreams, I said. No. I had that dream, and it still stays with me. My patriarchal blessing says many things about me that are true. It said, now this is interesting to me, my patriarchal blessing said, many shall come to hear you. Well, God, 1 million, I'm coming up on 1 million. I never thought 1 million people would hear anything I had to say. But the next thing the patriarch said, and many shall join the church. He was off there. He was off. I don't think anyone has looked at my videos and said, you know, I'm really thinking, I'm going to fix my camera, of joining the Mormon church because I've heard the bard. That hasn't happened. So anyway, how do you explain spiritual things that appear spiritual to you, and or definition? You know, most human beings would say, good Lord, if you've had an out-of-body experience, and that's scientific, to a certain extent scientific, there must be a God. Okay. This individual I thought was very, unless he's a good bard, I don't know. That one thing I've learned about the internet. I've learned many things about the internet. Anyway, let's just suppose that this man's comments are true, and that they're sincere, and that they're accurate. Let's just assume that, because that's why I'm doing this video. You know, if he's pulling my my third leg, I told him I like what's between women's legs. So anyway, let's get back on the subject here. Anyway, he mentioned his, well, I'm going to call it mental illness. He mentioned Ouija board. I'm giving principles now. I'm not talking about specifics. I don't think he ever said Ouija boards, but he talked about cult things and the dark side and Satan and all this satanic. You know, I'm a little bit of an expert in my education on satanic ritual abuse. and children, and what they used to call MPD, which is multiple personality disorder, which is now called dissociative disorder. And so I'm very familiar. My fifth wife said she was a satanic ritual abuse survivor, so I study that a lot, and etc., etc. But I am an expert on sex abuse with satanic ritual abuse. Anyway, how do you explain that this guy is a basket case, and he's tried many things, and then suddenly he joins the Mormon Church? And now I'm exaggerating, but I'm trying to get you a principle. He's a basket case, he joins the Mormon Church, and he's walking on water. He goes, "Hi, Jesus." They're both walking on water. Now, I'm not making fun of him. I'm just... I don't know. I'm commenting, which I've never commented on comments. So I'm commenting on comments of comments that somebody heard something that... Anyway, here's my explanation. I'm mentally ill. The Mormon Church is a very, very slow cancer, poison cancer. There can be large windows of life in the Mormon Church that are fun. Oh my gosh, you go to Golden Green Balls, that's for you older people. They don't have Golden Green Balls these days. I have Golden Green Balls, but the church doesn't. Anyway, you go to the, what do I want to say, the potluck dinners, and you go to the Christmas parties, and oh my gosh, there's some fun in the Mormon Church. There's windows of fun. When we take those windows and extrapolate that over our whole life, I think there is where the mistake is made. This person who wrote the comments now has a window. He has two windows. He can see when he had a really, really bad life, and now that he can see he has a really, really good life, because he joined, in his mind, because he joined the Mormon Church. Well, here's what I'm saying, is be careful of the windows. Because I had a blast in the Mormon Church. It was fun. God, climbing out the windows in seminary and looking into the girls' dresses. Hey, you know, you can't get a better life than the Mormon Church. Anyway, it's a very slow and very deadly cancer. It seeps into your mind, into your values, to your morals, to your visions of the future, the past. It clouds your thinking, but you don't see it many times. Some people never see it. Some people see it in a few months. Some people see it when the damn missionaries come in and say, you know, we have a message from Jesus Christ. He says, well, would you give him back a message? We're not interested in giving 10% of our gross income to the Mormon Church. Goodbye. Here can be, in my mind, now that may not be true, but in my mind, the explanation that this man is looking for, and he's not going to like the explanation, but I'm going to give it. And he said, please do it calmly. So I'm going to fold my arms and be calm. Because I am calm about it. I've had to ask the same questions. I told you I'm mentally ill. I've had, quote, a lot of spiritual experiences. How do I become atheist and then look back and say, well, what were these experiences? Okay, here it is. It's not one answer. Nothing in life is one answer. That's my experience. First of all, mental illness can have windows. You can be very, very young, and you have a lot of pressure. Kids are making fun of you at school, and or you're lonely, you're depressed, you're having real maturation adjustments as you're growing up. The girls or the boys don't like you. You have a lot of social adjustment. That can put a lot of pressure on a mentally ill person, and that really can cause some behaviors and some thoughts and beliefs that are not true. And just like it goes both directions. when you're mentally ill and you're under serious pressure. I've dealt with mentally ill people my whole life, and I can't tell you, most of them, I can tell you, most of them have talked with Jesus. Go into a mental hospital. Go into any mental hospital and sit down with a group of 100 mental patients and say, how many of you talked and seen Jesus and see him almost every day? You know, 70% of the people in the room are going to raise their hand. What do? Do you believe that? Is that a spiritual experience? Is that something, you know, you can hang your hat on? Well, you answer that question. I can't. So there are maturation pressures with mental illness. It can go both ways. You join a cult, you're very, very happy. It doesn't matter which cult you join. But a cult with mentally ill people gives them a purpose. It gives them vision. It gives them experience with other mentally ill people. Now, I'm not saying every Mormon is mentally ill. But anyway, that can be part of the answer. The other part is medications. With me, that was magic. You know, I don't wear magic underwear. I have magic medications. It's kind of like Jack and the Beanstalk. I just ate the medication. I didn't put it in the ground. I didn't want no damn giant chasing me. Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be alive, be dead. I don't know what he said. Anyway, maturation can be a part of it. The other part of it certainly can be medication. Now, the other part of it can be mental illness and other psychotropic meds and problems can be outgrown given the right environment. Now, I know this to be true. My little one was ADHD, couldn't do shit. Couldn't concentrate, couldn't do school, fighting, restraints, all kinds of problems, and of the devil. So, put her on medications. She's perfect. Did she outgrow it? No. The medications handled the organization in the mind. One day, she woke up, and literally, one day, she woke up. She didn't need the meds anymore. It's going on a year. Gone. Perfectly normal little girl. How do you explain it? I don't know. Call Jesus. Pick up your Jesus phone and call Jesus. So, what I'm trying to say here in explanation and answering this man's, I think, sincere inquiry. I'm sometimes very naive. I've been taken in many times. I told you I've been married 5 times. I have been taken in a few times. Anyway, I think, looking back on my experiences and personal testimony, I'll use that word for this gentleman, the spiritual experiences that I believe I had, and I'll never deny them. You know, whether I'm an atheist, a non-Mormon, whatever, I've had out-of-body experiences, and I have had other psychic experiences. Well, it's taken me a long time to come to this conclusion, and a lot of study and a lot of work, but I think it's inside my head. Now, I don't mean that it was made up. It's like a hallucination. A hallucination is real, but it's not in this world. It's in another dimension, or it's another kind of explanation with chemical drugs in the brain, and fear, anxiety, and personality, etc. So what I'm saying is that you can be evil and wicked and a terrible person and join the Mormon church, and suddenly you're walking you know, on water with Jesus, and you're sitting in his tomb, and when he wakes up, you're the first one to say hi on the resurrection. So, for me, my heart is at peace. People can label my experiences spiritual if they want. I don't use that label anymore. They are, in my mind, true experiences. But they can't be verified scientifically, and I can't reproduce them. It's one of the things with the scientific method. If it's not reproducible, it's not science. That's one of the standards of the measure of science. So what I'm saying here is kind of clouded. It's a little bit mishmash. But many life decisions are that way. When people, like the Mormons, say, this is what you do. You pay your tithing, and you'll have money for the rest of your life growing out your ears. Well, you don't. And I'm exaggerating that, Mormons. You know damn well what I'm saying, that you're supposed to be prosperous if you pay your tithing. So, in conclusion, I would say this. I feel that it was a sincere question. I feel it was a good question. I think it's a question we all have to ask ourselves. And please, if you're in the Mormon church and you're in a window that's bitching, stay there. But remember, that poison is seeking in here. And that cancer is growing here. And with me, I could barely escape it. And I haven't really escaped it because here I am. You can't leave the church alone. No, I can't. I am the church. They made me part of the morgue. I'm part of the Borg. I'm part of the coming together of thousands of people and their opinions and my morals and my judgment and my thinking and believing was all cultivated by the Mormon church. So to have me leave them alone means I have to die. That's why I don't leave the Mormon church alone. I am the Mormon church. I'm a product of the Mormon church. Now, you might be a better product of the Mormon church. Maybe when they were making me, you know, a couple of the people were drinking, or, you know, they went home early on Friday. My grandfather, he worked at General Motors in the old days, and he used to put nuts on the radiators to hold the radiators in the car, and he always told us, hell, on Friday we got drinking, we went home early, a lot of those cars went through with not as many radiator bolts as they needed. So I will admit, maybe I'm a defective Mormon, but I still am a product of their upbringing, you know, I went to primary, I went to seminary, God, I've been to every meeting in the whole damn world, and graduate of BYU and all their religion classes. I've read the Journal of Discourses, the comprehensive history of the church. You know, I've served in elders' quorums, state presidencies. I've been there, folks. I know what the hell I'm talking about, and I'm telling you, this is what you get. Some of the people are going to break, and the ones that do, I'm not sure that are the most stupid ones. I'm beginning to believe the stupid ones go, hell, you know, it's okay with me. They can have my money. I don't care. And, you know, if I have to wear this stupid underwear, I'm not even going to look at it. Well, that's not me. I have to be who I am. I'm not wearing stupid underwear. I'm going to read. I've been to every place that Joseph Smith has ever been, except in Helen Mar Kimball's bed. That's where I should have started. But, you know, Liberty Jail, good Lord, the Mansion House at Nauvoo, Sharon, Vermont. I've been there, folks. I don't believe it's true. I think it's a cult. And I can't leave it alone because they will not remove from me their doctrine and their influences. Now, if they had a little time machine and could put Big Fat David back at 8 years old before I was baptized and pull out everything they've done, I'd leave them alone in a minute. I'd leave them alone in a minute. But see, they can't do that. That poison and that cancer is in there. I have to fight it and take meds for it every day. So if this has been a helpful answer, great. If it hasn't, I don't care. It makes me feel better. Thanks. Allison? And ice water, please.